y'all, welcome back to Spirit of the Outdoors. Come down here and got back in my bow stand. Shot this a little bit. I'm shooting a lot better. Last little bit I've been shooting with it. Practicing, relaxing and stuff. So probably ain't really got a lot of chance right here of seeing a lot. This is a stand right back here behind my house where I can really just kind of come sit and think. That's what this stand is about. It's cut off from the swamp. There's a huge bit of open, which I enjoy sitting here looking over, but there ain't a lot of cover. Deer ain't gonna come out in it till like right at dark. So, and there's deer up here. So, I mean, it don't mean I can't shoot a deer here. It's just, it's not one of them places where you come and sit and watch deer. And I like to hunt in the swamp, but I got to get my buggy put back together. I've got all the parts to do that. Hopefully tomorrow I can make that happen, start that project. I just come back here to sit, really relax. I'm trying to figure out where to lay this bow that I don't knock it off, but that it's in easy reach, I guess, like that. I did put me some fabric up here. I come down here and sewed that in spots around, and it's an old ugly camouflage color, y'all. That pattern everybody likes well, but it didn't matter to me. It's something to block my movement right here. But I did want to talk to you a little bit. I just got here and it's still a little bit early for seeing a deer. And in the last, I don't know, several months, I have been getting a lot of packages in the mail. Some I've opened on camera, some I don't. I do not want to do a whole bunch of mail unboxing unless everybody's like, oh yeah, we want to see it. I mean, if it's overwhelmingly like everybody loves it and wants to see it, I'll do it. I don't have a problem with it, but I don't want to people get sick of it. You know what I mean? But now I do know everybody enjoyed watching Brody open stuff. And I am greatly appreciate everything that's sent here, gifts and stuff that people want to send and see you use and all of that. And I have gotten some really nice things, especially over the years. And it brings me to the point that I wanted to talk about is the fact that there's a lot more good people in the world than they are bad. We live in a society to where we feel like that we watch social media, the news, different things that we watch, and we just decide, man, the world is awful. The world is this horrible place. And it is bad. There's a lot of bad people. Don't get me wrong. There's some awful folks out there. But there's a lot more good people than they are bad. When people realize that you're good, and they decide, this person is okay, and I ain't saying just me, anybody. When people recognize that, oh, this is a good person, they good back to you. I walk in convenience stores, smile on my face. Hey, how you? Good to see you. Usually they plaster a smile back on their face and genuinely like, oh, it's like a relief that somebody comes in not griping and fussing and cussing them because they're taking too long and price is high on this. I mean, there's plenty to gripe about. Choose to be happy. And when you do that, you'll find that more people around you are happy. Approach people with a smile. Hold the door for people. Just be courteous. Every now and then, you're going to run across a butthole that don't appreciate nothing. You can do all the good in the world, and they'll dish bad right back at you. They don't care. You wash your hands of them kind of people. Don't let them get to you. Move on. Because there's way more good folks out there to dwell on the bad of a few. I have traveling, delivering pottery, go to like Memphis. Memphis is getting really popular for being a bad city. And I kind of understand why. It's like along the river, and then there's interstates intersecting there, and it's drugs, and it's some of the people that are there are bad people. And not all of them are bad people. They're caught up in a bad life, really, more or less. But I've been through that town, and there's still a lot of good people there. Walk in stores and restaurants, get my food. Everybody's nice as they can be. I look at the amount of stuff I get in the mail. It tells me there's a lot of good people. But not only that, I look at the comments. I have an overwhelmingly amount of positivity on my channel. Yes, there's a few people that's just, it don't matter what you do, they gonna look for something bad. And it's like this past week when I did Just in Time, I mentioned the deer. The deer is not one of the animals that were do not eat, considered unclean. And I knew this. Why it slipped my mind. One thing, I really didn't go through a list of, okay, what all animals are unclean right before I filmed this video. I'm flying from the top of my head with that part of it because I focused on the point that I was trying to make, which regardless of what animals are unclean, the point I make was valid, legitimate, spot on, nothing else wrong. But there was several people that just really jumped on the, oh, you made a mistake, you're an idiot, you don't need to be teaching or whatever else kind of attitude. They're looking for something wrong. And I just block them from the channel and be done with it. Used to, I would have spent all day arguing with them. One of them, I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And okay, well, I made a mistake there. What do you disagree? Oh, and then he wanted to, just big, long comments about basically how stupid I was, really. And I just blocked him. I don't feel like those are the only 3 people that caught that. I feel like most everybody that knows a little bit about the Bible caught that and said, oh, well, mistake. And that's what I'm getting at. There's a lot more good people than there are bad people. The reason it seems like the world is so bad is because the bad people are the outspoken ones. They the ones running their mouth. They the ones doing all the talking. They the ones that you hear all the time. There's a lot of good people out there, and they keep their mouth shut. They minding their own business. They just trying to get through life, trying to make ends meet, a lot of them. Even the ones that are wealthy, that are not struggling, they just want to enjoy their own life and be left alone. They're not really trying to dictate how you live your life. They're going to let you live it however you want to. And that's like me. I don't care how you live your life. I have an opinion about a good quality of life. I demonstrate a good quality of life here. I enjoy life. I truly enjoy every moment, every day. It's like I get through working today and I get to walk back here in the middle of the week, climb up in a deer stand and just sit here. This is not an ideal hunting spot. They ain't trophy bucks walking around everywhere. But for me, that ain't why I'm here. I enjoy sitting here. I enjoy filming videos. I enjoy talking to the camera. I enjoy watching. I know 2 hawks out here circling this open field, smaller hawks, and one looks like I think is a golden eagle. I can't really get him on camera. He's too far away. It'd look like a speck. I enjoy sitting here watching. I will probably see that mama and a little one again. Probably won't try to shoot either one of them. I'm here to enjoy life. And that's the way most of the good people are. My deal is I'll tell you about a good life, how you can live a good life if by chance you're struggling with life and you're miserable and you trying to figure out an easier, simpler way and you like the way I'm living. That don't mean that I think that everybody that is chasing a dollar, that I have kind of said that ain't what I do, that I think they're all bad people. They not. There's a lot of really good people that love to work and just want to make money. I'm not mad at you if you do that. You live it like you want to. And we're all going to disagree at times, disagree over certain things. You may disagree over the way I do some stuff, some things I like or don't like, and that's all right. I just get frustrated sometimes when all the focus is on how bad certain people are. And you scroll through YouTube or Instagram really shows a lot of them, in the comment sections more especially. But even in some of the reels that you watch, there's a lot of evil, that gets focused on. People mistreating other people, racist comments, racist stuff. And frankly, I don't find that to be the majority of people's real way of thinking. I live in the deep South, down in central Mississippi, and we're branded as a racist, group of people down here. The county I live in is literally where the civil rights workers were killed back in the 60s. Racism was a problem at times. Now, all through my life, I've not really known a lot of racist people. And a lot of them are very perceived to be racist. And are there racist people? Well, yes, there's racist people probably right here around, I'm not trying to say there ain't none. I'm just saying they're not as many as you would think. It is overwhelmingly mostly good people here. I think what gets people on the races, they use that for an excuse when somebody just don't like them, and that is either color. I ain't laying that off on one group of people. I'm just saying it's a scapegoat. Oh, they just done that because I'm this person. A lot of it has to do with your attitude. The other day I was rearranging some stuff in my shed so I could film, make videos, backgrounds look a little better, displaying my black powder. There was a Confederate flag that's been there for a long time, and I took it down just because I didn't want to have to go through the argument. Most people never say a word about them when they see them, but you always got a handful of, oh, that's racist. I can't believe you got that racist flag. That flag really don't have a lot to do with racism. Not to the most of what you see. Most of that is people that are proud to be Southern way of life, slow, easy living, great hospitality, cornbread, sweet tea, turnip greens, cat head biscuits, milk and cornbread in the afternoons. Good way of living. And that's what people are proud of. The biggest thing I think the Confederate flag, or what it really was to me, is I kind of don't like the government dictating everything I do. It's kind of a anti-government control is what it really stood for. That's what the war was mostly fought over. Slavery was a byproduct of the Civil War. But if you pull that flag out, oh, how racist. And I noticed it in that it was over the years that they have popped up in a video or two. It has been a very small number of people that have even said anything. That tells me there's way more good people than they are bad. I'm sure there was a lot of people that saw it that didn't like it, that are from the north. I have a lot of you guys that follow me from further up into Pennsylvania and Michigan and all these different places up there, Ohio and all up through the upper north, that I know that flag don't appeal to you. It shouldn't. Don't represent you. However, nobody ever really said anything negative about it for the most part. And that's a testimony to good people. I see a lot of things that at times I disagree with. I don't jump on people's channel to scold them about it. I was thinking about today, there was this one old boy. He'd make some videos, and I wouldn't call him out because I love the guy. I enjoy listening to him talk. I enjoy his channel. I don't watch a lot of nobody's channel no more, but in the morning, sometimes with coffee, I'll watch a few videos, and it really has a lot to do with what pops up first. And he got to talking about chemtrails the other day. And I didn't fully disagree with everything he said, but I was like, he can't really believe that's... And the topic was climate change. I believe in climate change. It's changing. It'd take a blind man to not be able to see that it's changing. Why is it changing? I'm not a scientist. I really can't tell you. Number one, they ain't nothing happening in this world that God ain't in control of. Are we having a negative impact on it? Absolutely, I believe we are. Is my car causing the planet to warm up? I got my doubts on that. I can't sit here and say yes or no. I hadn't really studied it. I'm not a scientist. But I disagree with the way that we're raping the land. You take loggers, for instance. They got to log. They got to make a living. I believe in logging. We grow timber. We harvest it. What I do disagree with is the way we're doing it. I mean, it's see how much you can cut and see how much and they cut just the best choice piece off of the log, and the rest of it is just run over and destroyed, scrapped. I mean, it is just, it could be firewood, it could be pulpwood, it could be ground. I mean, there's a lot it could be done with it. But we don't have the need to care. We just get what we want off of it, make our money, and it's not just the logging. That is just what I'm using for instance. I mean, it's a lot. I went by a cotton field the other day. They'd picked over the cotton, and that field was nearly white with what was left over scraps. And I'm like, well, I understand why. How much money are they gonna make if they go out there and pick it all up? But this mentality has drifted into everything. We've got to do so much so fast with so expensive piece of equipment that we leave in a mess. We wasting way more resource. And y'all, we're getting so many people in this, especially this country, but on the planet, that the land can only support so many people because what we eat and live off of comes from this land. So the topic, the guy was talking about the chemtrails and stuff, and I agreed with most of what he's talking about, you know. And a lot of what I think is climate change is weather modification, which is a very real thing. If you don't know about it, you can look it up. It's a very real thing that's been going on for over 20 years. Probably longer than that, really. I've been knowing about it that long. And it's not been on a huge scale. It is growing. They got things set up all out in the ocean that are these big ball-looking things, and they spray out clouds, and they seed the clouds, and I don't know exactly what all they use. I don't really know if it's harmful chemicals in it. But when you start altering Mother Nature's normal patterns of weather, it's going to have an impact, whether it's good or bad or long-term or short-term or whatever. And people look up and get to talk about chemtrails. And they see all these streams across the clouds. And I did, if you look back in the very beginning of this video, I panned all around. There ain't not one cloud, not one chemtrail or whatever in the sky. And common sense has to come into play, y'all, at some point. Them lines that you're seeing in the sky is not what weather modification is in seeding clouds. That is merely the exhaust out of an airplane, out of a jet, and has more to do with the temperature of that exhaust versus a cold atmosphere than it does a chemical coming out of the back of that plane. To say there is no chemical, there's exhaust. There's probably carbon there. You can't say it ain't, but they not spraying stuff to seed clouds with those trails. That is commercial airlines. That ain't what they do. They too greedy to take up time to be doing all that. And why is all of a sudden one day today you don't see them? It's because of the temperature. Your exhaust on your car comes out in the wintertime and there's a cloud puffing behind all the vehicles. As soon as it gets to the same temperature as the air around it, it disappears. Well, those linger up there in them clouds because of the temperature difference up there, that high up. And that's why there's days when you see them and they crisscrossed everywhere. Well, today there's not one, not nowhere in the sky, not all day long. Well, do you think that every major airline company just decided today they wasn't going to seed clouds? You know, I mean, it's just the temperature is right today that they're not showing up. It's just the exhaust difference. But now they are at times that they seeding clouds and spraying stuff up there to, you know, to seed the clouds. So, but anyway, just because I didn't agree with whatever the guy said, I didn't jump on his post to correct him and tell him how, you know, I mean, I probably wouldn't have changed his mind, you know, if I had told him what I thought. I think what I think and I go on about it. I can sit here and make this video, tell you, and I'm sure there'll be somebody that gets in here and says, oh yeah, but they're this or they're that. You have your opinion. I'm still stuck with mine. But for the most part, there's way more good people than they are bad out there, y'all. When you walk around, if you'll have a smile on your face, you'll greet people friendly, you'll treat people good, talk to them with some respect, like you got a little bit of respect for them and a little respect for yourself, they'll treat you the same way for the most part. I have put this to the test and I have found it to be the truth. But yet, we sit around and look and go, well, this world's awful. The world's so terrible. But, you know, it's not really that bad. It's probably not gonna get a lot better. Don't seem like anything ever does on its own. But it ain't really gonna get that bad, I don't think. Times are gonna get hard. But you know, when you look back at the Great Depression, I've read stories about people that talked about how hard life got. But they said, man, life was so good because we come together as family. Neighbors started helping each other. And you know, that's what I see. That's what I want to see. When we all slow down and we all start pulling together, helping one another and working together, you'll find out you enjoy life a whole lot more than you did bickering with each other and trying to compete and outdo each other. But even with this channel, I watch as people send us gifts, send us packages in the mail, and leave wonderful comments, wonderful emails. I get so much mail from my just-in-time videos, people about how much they enjoy it and how it's helped them, and not patting me on the back, but it speaks well of all these people that leaves positive comments, positive testimonies. And I'm telling you, if you ever put God first in your life and focus on Him and quit focusing on the bad, there's a wonderful life to live. I mean, a really good life to live. And I know because I'm living it. I slowed down and take my time and don't worry about nothing. That's my neighbor over there shooting. He's got a range set up, sighting in rifles. I think he can shoot about 600 yards over there where he's at. But it's a good life. And when you put God first and slow down and take it easy, life is actually pretty good. But anyway, I'm gonna sit here. I need to cut this camera off and quit yapping, see if I see a deer. And thank y'all for watching Spirit of the Outdoors. Remember, the best way to do things is the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all. Y'all have a good one.